Hi, welcome to ArkIntel. For over a century, the Panama Canal has been the key to global trade, a vital link that has shaped economies and powered industries. But now, this critical artery is under threat. Costs have soared, delays stretch for weeks, and an unprecedented drought is pushing the canal to its limits. The world's supply chains are on edge, and companies are scrambling for alternatives. That's where Mexico comes in. With a $7.5 billion project, the country is building a railway that could bypass Panama entirely. The plan? Move cargo across land instead of water, cutting straight through the Isthmus of Tehuantepec. It sounds bold, game-changing even, but will it actually work, or is this just another desperate attempt to fix a collapsing system? The Panama Canal was designed to be the ultimate shortcut, a gateway between the Pacific and Atlantic that saved ships thousands of miles of travel. For decades, it worked flawlessly. But now, everything is falling apart. Tolls have surged to unprecedented levels, making it far more expensive to move goods. Ships that once glided through with ease are now waiting offshore for weeks, unable to pass. The biggest problem is water. The canal depends on massive reservoirs to lift ships through its locks, but those reservoirs are drying up. With Lake Gatun at record low levels, there simply isn't enough water to keep the system moving at full capacity. As a result, restrictions have been placed on the number and size of ships that can pass. Shipping companies are facing a brutal choice. They can either pay millions more in fees, wait for weeks, or take the long way around, an 8,000-mile detour around Cape Horn, adding fuel costs, delays, and logistical nightmares. But now, another route is making headlines, a land-based shortcut cutting straight through Mexico. The Inner Oceanic Corridor is Mexico's answer to the crisis. Instead of waiting in the Panama Canal's long lines, ships would dock on Mexico's Pacific coast. Their cargo would be loaded onto trains, transported across the country, and reloaded onto another ship on the Atlantic side. The corridor stretches 188 miles, a fraction of the distance ships currently travel by sea. The Mexican government is betting that this will be faster, more efficient, and offer relief to companies struggling with rising costs and unpredictable delays. But turning this into reality won't be easy. This railway isn't just about trade. It's part of a much bigger vision. Mexico is using it to develop its southern states, where economic opportunities are limited and poverty is widespread. The government plans to build 10 industrial hubs along this route, creating jobs, attracting investment, and turning the region into a manufacturing powerhouse. It all sounds promising, but there is a problem. Right now, Mexico's ports aren't ready for this level of traffic. They lack the infrastructure, the cranes, the shipping yards, and the logistics hubs needed to process the sheer volume of goods that would need to move through the corridor. The entire system would need an overhaul to handle this kind of congestion that's routine for trade major routes like the Panama Canal. And then there's the issue of time. The Panama Canal, even under normal conditions, takes 8 to 10 hours for a ship to pass through. The Mexican railway could take about 6 to 7 hours. But that's just the time on the train. When you add the loading and unloading process, it jumps to 15 hours or more. If everything runs perfectly, Mexico's corridor could be faster than a clogged up Panama Canal. But if there are delays in loading cargo onto trains, or if the ports struggle to keep up, it could turn into just another bottleneck. The biggest challenge though is capacity. The Panama Canal moves a staggering amount of cargo every day. Even if Mexico's railway runs at full efficiency, experts say it will only be able to handle about 5% of the trade that currently flows through Panama. That's a small dent in a massive system. But that doesn't mean the project is pointless. If the delays in Panama continues to worsen, even a small alternative could be valuable. The real question is whether companies will trust it enough to use it. This isn't just about convenience, it's about money and power. The Panama Canal is one of the most profitable trade routes in the world, bringing in over $5.6 billion in revenue each year. If even a fraction of that business shifts to Mexico, it could be a major economic win. But the timing of this project lines up with an even bigger trend: nearshoring. With companies moving manufacturing closer to the US, Mexico has a golden opportunity to position itself as the next global supply chain hub. Alongside the railway, Mexico is pushing to develop semiconductor plants, automotive factories, and industrial centers, aiming to become a key player in producing and shipping goods at record speed. If successful, this could make the inner oceanic corridor more than just a shortcut. It could make it an essential trade route of the future. But none of this matters unless major companies are willing to invest. Right now, they are watching closely, waiting to see if Mexico can actually pull it off. Some experts believe that the future of shipping won't be a battle between Panama and Mexico. It will be about how well they can work together. Instead of competing, the two routes could complement each other, providing shippers with more flexibility and preventing massive disruptions in global trade. Imagine a system where ships don't have to choose between Panama and Mexico, but instead use both routes dynamically, avoiding bottlenecks, reducing risks, and making supply chains more resilient. With the right coordination, this could redefine global trade, making it faster, more reliable, and less dependent on a single passage. But there are still major questions. Will Mexico's railway be ready in time to make a difference? Can it upgrade its ports quickly enough to compete? And most importantly, will businesses trust it over the well-established Panama Canal? With all the questions, one thing is clear: the future of global trade is at a turning point. The Panama Canal is struggling, and Mexico is betting big on an alternative. But will companies take the risk? If Mexico delivers, it could change supply chains forever. If it fails, the world remains at the mercy of a broken system. What do you think? Is this the future of shipping, or just another costly experiment? Leave us a comment and tell us your opinion.